to go?
Yeah.
Yeah. Got this.
Okay. So thank you so much for being here. Today we have Winnie with Elsinore Mushrooms and Brandyn with CPI Plumbing Incorporated. Did I get that right?
Yes, you did.
Awesome. Yes. Okay. You guys actually run a couple of businesses individually, but somehow these two businesses come together for the purpose to serve kind of like the other business. Is that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Perfect.
in one way or another, they're tied together.
Perfect. So I'm going to ask you a few questions, get to know you guys a little bit better, go through your experiences, share whatever you guys want to share with us. Again, this is for you. This is your space. Listeners get to, learn and listen to what you guys have to say. Super cool that you guys are doing this. By the way, this is the first time I have two people on set, which is, you guys are the first ones. But let's kind of get into it because this is a very interesting story from where I'm standing from or sitting. Just because when you run a business that has you grow mushrooms, right? Mm-hmm. And then Brandyn, you have your business that is as a contractor, specifically for plumbing.
Correct. Yeah.
But somehow these two businesses complement one another.
Yeah, absolutely.
So talk to me about that. Go through it, the whole thing, how you guys got into it. Because mushrooms, first of all, mushrooms. I've never. This is the first time I meet somebody who grows mushrooms, right, and has a business doing that. And I have no idea what mushrooms are good for. If how hard it is to grow. So you guys have to give me the rundown on everything and kind of guide me like if I'm a 5-year-old. So you guys can explain to me the whole process.
Yeah, absolutely. You might have to repeat some of those questions because it'll go off on so many tangents, especially in my mind.
Love it. Yeah, let's go on those tangents.
Yes. So, I've been doing my plumbing business for upwards of since 2010, pretty much. So, got into that with my dad years and years ago. Now I pretty much run things. He's moved out of state, kind of retired. With the tie to the mushroom business, there's a lot of need for plumbing within growing operations and maintenance of equipment and water filtration. That all comes from my expertise of running a plumbing company, being able to provide that service to Elsinore Mushrooms directly without having third-party expenses. So that's helped us out a lot with having to hire people for things that not the average person knows about. And even for us, mushroom farmer, we didn't know anything about it. We just kind of like, hey, Winnie, you want to be a mushroom farmer with me?
No.
That's pretty much how it go. How it went for about probably 3 or 4 months, maybe.
Yeah, no, it was longer than that.
Maybe longer. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm very persistent.
Yeah.
I don't give up, and it's definitely had lots of challenges and rewards throughout the past few years that we've been doing this, and it's slowly becoming what we're striving for and what we want it to get to. I always do a lot of research with all my endeavors. This is not my first, second, or third business. I've done multiple attempts on many different things over the years, but we won't get into that. And things that I've learned from the past is, do your research, see what you actually need to accomplish that and what your goals are ultimately and how you're going to get there and why you want to do that. The mushroom business, down to our when we first started dating, we have restricted diets. We're both vegans, so there's not a lot of places we can eat. I'm also gluten-free. And so that kind of eliminates 98% of all restaurants. So
wow.
There was this one restaurant up in was it San Francisco or was it was Oakland, right?
It was Oakland.
It was in Oakland, yeah. So you can tell that part.
Yeah, so I was working up in the Bay Area for about 13 months, and we had this app that we looked up where it served both vegan and gluten-free food. And so there was, I don't know what date it was. We dressed up. There was one dish specifically
it was Valentine's Day.
Was it Valentine's Day? Oh my
On top, like what a day.
He picked me up from work, from my 9-to-5 job at the time. working for a nonprofit solar organization.
Nice.
And yeah, he picked me up, and one of the dishes that was served in that menu was a mushroom chowder.
Which sounds really yummy. I love chowder, by the way. Yeah.
It lived up to, his
expectations as a clam chowder, but it was mushrooms.
Nice.
And that blew us away.
And this was the first time you guys were trying this type of dish?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Had you guys had any other big dishes like this where the main ingredient was mushrooms?
Not directly and specifically like looking for that. Like around that time is when I first became vegan. So I was already giving up meat, and I wasn't necessarily craving or looking for an alternative. It was just something that kind of fell into our laps. And this is really good. This you can imitate this and make it taste this way, and just have different possibilities with fungus. Most people, they think of mushrooms, portobellos and creminis, and that's as far as their, maybe shiitakes, and that's as far as their knowledge goes as far as mushrooms. And this restaurant, that wasn't their only dish. I don't think they had a few different ones, and they really opened their eyes to what possibilities they have for mushroom dishes. So, it kind of, we started going to like shopping at like the health food stores and finding gourmet mushrooms and trying all these our own recipes and trying to figure things out. And
and so my contract ended with the Bay Area with a nonprofit solar organization, and I didn't want to leave the area because I wanted to stay in the area because I love the area. But he was like, come start a business with me. And I was like, no.
So this is really how it went. Like, you want to start a mushroom business? And you were like, no.
I was like, no.
Well, to be fair, I started buying mushroom grower kits, kind of like the one that we brought here today.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be a surprise.
It's okay.
He edited that out. I started buying these mushroom grower kits, and I was just, this is cool. See, like grow them and pick them and eat them and just kind of experiment and see what it's about. I built my own little mini fruiting chamber out of like just some pictures I saw off the internet and like trying to design it myself and make it work in different ways, and failed sometimes and made new ones and made them better and stuff along those lines. And then like, this isn't too bad. Growing the mushrooms, fruiting them isn't that difficult.
Okay.
Small scale.
Well, I was about to ask, right? Like how big of a scale, but how, okay. So again, how difficult your level of difficulty might be different from anybody else.
Correct.
Right.
It's all subjective.
Gosh.
So
It
exactly.
is.
So what can you go, if we want to go in this tangent here, what is the process if for somebody, again, I have no idea. All I know is that they are a fungi, right? Is that correct? Fungi, fungus?
Yeah.
Fungi?
FunGuy and FunGal.
I love that. But aside from that, I've eaten, so like you mentioned, portobellos, shiitake, I guess the norm.
Yeah, correct.
But I have really no idea what it takes to grow a mushroom and how hard it is, what the period is from start to finish. Like, can you guide me through that real quick?
When it goes from the seed to the final fruit.
Well, you kind of got to start with the raw materials.
Yeah, the raw
So
materials.
what do mushrooms grow on?
Wait, you got to start with the setup.
The setup.
I don't know, like the setup,
Again,
the whole setup.
Dumb it down to a 5-year-old, please, so I can understand it.
Okay, so there's a couple categories of different types of like mushrooms. There's primary composters and secondary composters.
Okay.
Decomposers.
Yeah.
She's right.
Okay.
We grow primary decomposers, like your creminis, portobellos. Those are secondary decomposers.
Okay.
They eat basically animal feces.
Huh.
So you just you let your imagination wander to where it's growing on animal feces. They pick them and they sell them.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So
those are second decomposers.
Correct.
Okay, and you guys grow first.
Primary.
Primary.
I'm sorry, primary.
Yeah.
Correct.
And what do they feed on?
So they feed on fresh ingredients. It's
So
not
that
it's
we
not
grow on,
it's
at
not
least.
leftovers. We're growing on oak sawdust. So we grow tree mushrooms in a sense. So basically, like pretty much all of our mushrooms, they'll grow on hardwoods. It doesn't have to be oak; it can be any hardwood.
Okay.
Some of them will even grow on softwoods, but hardwood is denser, it's more nutrients. So it's going to produce better yields.
Gotcha.
But in addition to that, though, in the wild, the primary decomposers are grown in rotting wood or just decomposing wood or organic matter, essentially.
Gotcha.
In the wild.
So it is, but it's not actual feces like it would be with
Correct.
the secondary
The
or
secondary
decomposers.
decomposers,
Okay. Okay.
And
Interesting.
to go off on a little tangent, the reason why those mushrooms are so popular,
That was going to be my next question. So yes.
they're very inexpensive to grow.
The secondary
The
decomposers.
secondary decomposers. You know, if you get a semi-load of manure that someone's paying you to take,
Oh wow. Okay.
and then you process it and inoculate it and grow mushrooms on it, that saves a lot of raw material cost.
Gotcha.
So we're buying all fresh ingredients. You know, we have to pay a premium for that. So, you know, obviously our product is going to be more of a premium type of product, more expensive, a little more costly to grow. But back to the process, you know, we start with the raw materials. We mix them with water. We sterilize them in an autoclave. So we basically use heat and pressure to kill off any competing organisms, whether that's mold or bacteria. You know, obviously we don't have viruses in there either, but that's typically not a problem for fungus, but it's mostly mold and bacteria that can kill it off or overpower what we're trying to grow. So, you know, obviously if we're growing mushrooms, we want to be growing mold, or we don't want to be growing some toxic bacteria that's going to make someone sick. So we kill all that off in the autoclave, let that cool down, then we'll actually add something called spawn. Now, you know, people kind of have a misconception of where mushrooms come from. Like, do you have mushroom seeds? No, mushroom is it's a fruit to a living organism called mycelium.
Okay.
Mycelium is the actual organism. You know, think of an apple tree.
Okay.
It's the tree.
Oh, okay.
The mushroom is the apple. It's the fruit.
Gotcha.
Nothing more. You know, someone says, "Oh, there's a mushroom growing in my yard. I wonder what seed landed there to grow that." It's not like that. It's a mass network growing within the substrate that you don't see underground or within the tree or within the manure that's actually growing the mushroom. It's strictly the reproductive portion of the fungus. So
this might sound ignorant, but is it almost like bananas? Because bananas don't come necessarily from a seed, but they have a system of it's like a living organism underneath the ground that connects, and that's how the
I know bananas are like that. It's similar type of principle, but you know, bananas are a plant and fungus is fungus.
Yes.
Fungus is a little more intelligent, I think. You know, it's
its own kingdom.
Yeah.
So there's a animal kingdom. There's a what was the other kingdom? Fungus. But yeah, it's its own kingdom.
Animal, plant, fungus.
Animal, plant, fungus.
Okay,
I swear I'm educated.
so it's its own system, then,
Correct.
Yeah.
its own kingdom. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you know there's that network of mycelium that purpose of that is to, you know, spread and grow, release digestive enzymes to break down its substrate and actually digest the food, you know, the substrate. So it's like
I'm gonna stop you there.
Yeah.
Substrate. What is substrate?
Substrates any media that the mushroom chooses to consume. You know, it's food, it's nutrition. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Substrates are like a term farmers use for the actual growing media for the mushrooms, but the like in the wild, you know, it could be a tree, it could be the soil, you know, whatever it might be that's nutritious to that specific strain of mushroom.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Super lost, but continue.
Yeah,
because,
yeah, me
like
too.
obviously, it's a lot of information to take
Yeah.
in, right? It's quite a bit, but obviously,
Yeah.
you guys know, you guys running the business and everything. I mean, there's a passion there too, because it's something that you guys now consume. Correct? I mean,
Correct. Yeah.
Yes.
And how much of it do you guys actually consume of it? Like, is it on a daily basis?
Sometimes we're not that lucky because, you know, it is a business. And, you know, not that we're, I'm going to go this way, but not that we're drug dealers at all, but you know, you don't eat your own product or you don't do your own product.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, what an analogy.
Wow, apparently there's an underground mushroom drug business.
No,
that I
this
didn't
is
know about.
no magic mushrooms. We swear we do not touch that.
That is the number one most irritating
Yes.
question that people ask us at our farmers markets is, Where are the magic mushrooms?
We're asked that at least like once every market, at least
At
once.
least. Sometimes
Oh,
10 times.
you know
Every
what?
market.
I'm so sorry. I didn't even meant to go there. That's right. There's shrooms, right? Like, like, oh my God. I wasn't even trying to go there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. But
And-
those are mushrooms as well, right?
They are mushrooms.
Yeah, they're mushrooms.
We do not grow them.
We do not grow them, nor do we consume those as well.
But what I meant, the actual mushrooms that you guys grow for business, which are legit, you guys prioritize on selling those versus actually
Correct.
consuming them.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
So we do need to pay the bills,
Of course, of course.
We do eat the stragglers.
Yeah, so after the market, there's scraps that aren't presentable and they're not really marketable. We'll throw those in a bag and just have a mystery mix of mushrooms for ourselves. We try to save the premium stuff for our customers. And I always strive to have the best quality. I don't want to have something that looks like you bought from the store that's been there for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I want stuff that's, like maybe 2-3 days tops, depending on the variety. Certain varieties, they need to be picked that same day in order for them to withhold. Because, gourmet mushrooms have a very short shelf life. That's another reason why they're not very mainstream.
Gotcha.
For one, they're more expensive to grow compared to the secondary composters, but also, instance of like golden oysters, pink oysters, they might have a shelf life of 3 to 5 days. By the time you harvest them, sending them to distribution and get them into the stores, and then someone buys them, they're already bad.
Wow.
So they have to be farm direct, or basically that's the only real option, unless you got a really strong network of customers and stores, and you can get that fresh product to that store that same day, and the customers buy it within a day or so.
Which are the? I'm assuming you guys are affiliated with maybe some restaurants in the area or something like that, or not currently.
We have a couple, like one that's consistent right now, and another one that a couple other that buy from us occasionally.
Okay.
It's hard. It's a hard business.
It's really,
Profit margins are they're not there. If for anyone that wants to like get in and be a mushroom farmer, it's not about the money.
Yeah,
And that was part of the research that I was doing when I first started this is what is it going to cost to get into this, maybe 15, 20 grand. Yeah, for small scale. On the grand scheme of things, I probably have 150,000, maybe 200,000 in this business.
Yeah.
That I've invested in various ways, and we're still small to the point where I don't even collect any money yet. It's all about growing the business and keeping things flowing the way they should, making sure we have the freshest products, and making sure all the gears are turning the right way.
Crazy. Can you guys tell me? So how long does it take to grow a mushroom, for example? Like when you guys are from let's say from start before you guys harvest, what's the
So there's a couple ways to look at it. From a fruiting block that's colonized and ready to fruit to like put in the grow chamber, it can be anywhere from like 5 days to maybe a month.
Okay.
Depending on the variety. Some varieties are like clockwork. You fruit it this day, it's ready to pick this day out this hour. And some of them you put in there and they're like, okay, they're not doing anything. Man, wait a couple more weeks, and then they just pop up and go.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have another strain that's the shortest life. The fruiting life for that is, what is it? 5 to 7 days, like pink oyster mushrooms. And the longest growing fruiting lifespan for that is maybe another one is called reishi. It took us about like 4 to 5 months. To grow.
I'm sorry?
4 to 5 months to grow.
Oh, okay.
That's strictly like a medicinal type of mushroom. It's for like it's an adaptogen. It's like anti-inflammatory. Gives a boost of energy.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's not something you would consume. So it's a very dense woody mushroom, and like these dense mushrooms, they do take quite a bit of time to grow. Reishi in particular, they like warmer weather. And like our last batch, we started in dead of winter, so
Gotcha.
it would take like 4 or 5 months to finally get to where it's enough mushrooms to be able to make it worthwhile to sell, rather than just having just a little bit. Because they're.
But also keep in mind the shorter the the fruiting cycle, the shorter their lifespan.
Yeah. So
and the longer
So it's almost a 1-to-1
Yeah,
ratio.
it is.
So you
It
get,
is,
let's
yeah.
say, a
Gotcha.
mushroom that grows in 1 week. It's going to last about a 1 week shelf life. You get a mushroom that's 3 weeks and lasts about 3 weeks shelf life.
Oh,
Like lion's mane or beach mushrooms that we grow. Shiitake.
So currently, how many mushrooms are you guys growing? Like how many strains or varieties, whatever it's called?
We probably
12 or 13.
grown upwards of 12 to 13, maybe more now.
Yeah, at
But
least.
regularly we cycle stuff in and out, but we do have probably like 5 varieties that we try to have every single week. But there's other ones, they're slow growers if they're taking a month to grow, and we have those in our fruiting room. They take up a lot of space. So if we only have that every week, that's gonna take up all those shelves, while other stuff can grow in 1 week. They're taking up space for 4 weeks, and we got to cycle those in and out like every couple months.
Gotcha.
Keep the variety new, so that that helps. We have our regular stuff that people like, that's quick and it's reliable, and then we have the stuff that's more difficult to grow and longer fruiting times, and those ones we'll cycle in and out, just so we have change in variety, change in inventory, and
so the term fruiting is like the time where they like actually blossom.
Okay.
Like the fruit
Yeah.
like forming.
How big
the block.
are they? Like, what's the biggest mushroom you guys have grown?
oh geez. We got some winners. Even that one from yesterday was a winner.
Yeah, it was almost as big as my forearm.
Whoa!
Yeah.
It was like a 2.7 pound king trumpet.
King
Whoa!
trumpet. King trumpet
was
oyster.
It was scary. Yeah.
Yeah.
No one
Yeah.
bought it.
No one bought
We
it.
kept
No,
it
they were
for ourselves.
terrified.
Yeah, nice.
They're like,
Do you don't know
what do I
do
do with
it?
that?
Wow. So
Yeah.
okay, and now what's the edible part? Is the whole mushroom
The whole
including?
mushrooms.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
That
Yeah.
specific mushroom, the prize part of the mushroom is the stem.
Okay.
Which people,
Oh, the stem.
The stem, which people
with the
make,
king trumpet specifically.
which people make scallops out of them, or pulled pork sandwiches.
Okay.
But it's pretty versatile in terms of like how to eat it and like what kind of recipes to make it. But the most prized, I guess, mushroom that we grow is called, of course, lion's mane. That's the most versatile mushroom in terms of flavor, texture, because it tastes like from an egg white or a mild seafood flavor when you undercook it. But the longer you cook it, the more it tastes like pork or chicken. Just
No
like a meaty
way,
Yeah.
really.
flavor and texture.
and
too.
you can process it different ways to have it more soft, or you have it actually like flesh, like you're pulling it apart. And we fooled people. Like some of our
Yeah.
friends will cook it up, like, oh, here's some chicken and whatnot. Like, oh, that's
Yeah.
good.
But yesterday I made some crab cakes.
Oh yeah, those were
That
good.
was pretty good.
Yeah.
So tell me about that process, because of course, now that you guys are experts at the whole, growing or farming these mushrooms.
I want to say experts.
Well, yeah, we're not experts.
In the process
Yeah.
of becoming experts, experts in my eyes, because we're going through a lesson here. Like
Yeah.
I'm learning today for sure. But like,
We're always learning. Is what we're saying.
and that's the beauty
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
But can you tell me a little bit more as to like, now let's talk about the kitchen, like somebody who is wanting to cook like how versatile is the actual product,
It goes many ways.
or how hard is that
just
question
like
to
it
answer?
they're different mushrooms that we grow, so they require different ways on how to cook them, and it just depends on like what recipe that the customers is specifically cooking. They'll have this mushroom or another mushroom, but we generally just tell our customers as to like how to cook them, which is sauteing them for at least 10 to 15 minutes with high heat oil.
Okay.
Or until like golden brown or deep brown color, and that's all it takes. It's
Yeah.
just some salt.
Yeah, pretty much all our
maybe some
mushrooms you just
garlic
saute
powder.
them
Yeah,
and
that's all it needs.
add some salt, and most people are like, oh, I just started eating them and then I couldn't stop and they were gone. Without even adding them to any dish.
Yeah.
They just saute them up and eat them straight out of the pan because they're that good.
Can you eat them raw, or do they have to be cooked?
Yeah, you can absolutely eat them raw. Some varieties of mushrooms, they may not agree with certain people raw, and vice versa. But
Okay.
most of them, yeah, they're pretty much safe to be eaten raw. The flavor that we describe to what they can taste like, it's not the same. It's a whole different flavor. But
Gotcha.
some of my personal favorites raw are like chestnut mushrooms or shiitakes. Blue oysters can be they're good,
Little
but
bit
they're spicy.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's
Ooh.
kind of strange. Like you
It's
wouldn't think of
weird.
I
mushroom
like
to be
that.
spicy.
When they're raw, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when they're cooked, it tastes like chicken.
Yeah.
So crazy.
Yeah.
So do you guys, when you guys go out and sell, what do you guys sell, by the way? I'm sorry. Or do you guys just, how like people come to you and you guys sell it there, or do you guys have a process where you guys go to like a what's it called, a farmer's market, or I'm assuming that's where you guys sell it most of the time?
We sell it at a farmer's markets. Right now, we're selling at Old Town Temecula every
Oh, cool.
Saturday.
Yeah,
from 8 a.m.
yeah.
to 12:30
Okay.
p.m. And we have another market that we're going to be attending on Sundays now at Orange County Great Park,
Cool.
Irvine.
Irvine.
Yeah.
And what time is that?
It's from 10 to 2 p.m.
So Irvine 10 to 2, and then Temecula, you said what time?
8 to 12:30 p.m.
8 to 12:30.
Yeah.
Okay, I actually might go visit you guys.
please do.
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll hook you
That'd
up.
be that. Yeah, I like the hookup for sure. But no, I mean, so super interesting. Everything. It's just again, I'm kind of learning. I'm trying to retain all the information as we go. Now, can I just out of curiosity, the secondary decomposers that you guys are not currently growing or selling, but again, because they're so cheap to
we can't compete with it.
right? But it is that again, you mentioned that's because of the way, or the what is it? Because it being so cheap to actually grow, that's why the prices don't compare to like what you guys are trying to sell.
Correct. Also, those farms that are growing those, it's such large scale. It's cheap labor. They're hiring just people to pick mushrooms like you would for fruit or
Gotcha.
or whatever type of produce. Large scale. They have more funding for larger infrastructure. We use a lot of electricity in mushroom farming. Just in general, some farmers might use gas for sterilization, but all of our stuff's pretty much electric powered.
Gotcha.
Solar powered.
Yeah,
Solar
powered.
nice.
Solar powered mushrooms.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, so you guys like are fully like what's it called, green and
We're trying to be. Yeah.
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 I probably have about 70,000 invested in solar to be able to power.
How many panels do you guys have?
Currently, I got private information.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
I have almost enough.
Almost enough.
Almost.
Yeah.
Okay, so can I ask how big then, or how?
Or our farming space?
Yes. Okay.
800 square feet.
Yeah, about 800 square feet.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is that? I'm sorry. Is that outside or inside? And inside a greenhouse? What's the whole deal there?
So our farm is all indoors. Out here in Southern California, the temperature and the humidity swings so broad of a range.
Yeah.
It's not going to be really conducive for mushroom farming, all but maybe a few weeks out of the year. So pretty much everything has to be done indoors. Certain times of the year, I can throw like old fruiting blocks outside and they'll just thrive, and we'll have mushrooms for ourselves. We just got to pick the slugs off,
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, slugs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
slugs love mushrooms.
They
Really?
do.
Yeah.
And snails.
Oh, and snails.
For the
Okay.
record, we don't sell those mushrooms
we
to
do
the
not.
customers.
Those are just, as display, or just throw them away. Or,
I eat them.
oh yeah, we did that one time.
There was a few times.
There were.
I just
there
don't
were.
tell you when I pick the slugs off.
No, we got slug slime all over our mushrooms.
Huh.
Those ones you want to wash.
Yeah.
For the
you
most
do.
part,
Yeah.
our gourmet mushrooms, you never want to wash them. You'll ruin the mushrooms for the most part.
Oh,
So
okay.
You'll ruin the texture of the mushroom and the integrity of it.
they're like sponges. So
And
they're
by washing, I'm sorry. By washing, you mean like just throwing water on them?
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just even throwing water. You
Yeah.
can't throw water. Oh,
Correct.
okay. Okay.
Yeah, so they'll basically absorb the water and they'll ruin the texture and the integrity of the mushroom. So you gotta, we grow in such a clean way. There's no need for it. We don't put any pesticides or any like chemicals on the mushrooms.
Yes.
So there's no need to wash them in the first place. Any dirt and stuff you see on it, that's not dirt. It's just two things. It's soy hull and oak.
Gotcha.
Two things that are not going to hurt you. You just wipe it off. It's not
Yeah.
a big deal. I've eaten it, and it's not going to.
Makes you stronger, if anything.
Makes you stronger.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, so now, where are you guys looking to take this operation? Like, if we're looking right now, you guys said this is the third year, correct? That
Correct.
you guys are up and operating. Like, what's the idea? Or what's the long term goal for the whole mushroom operation right now?
So long term,
That's a good question. I love that question.
it's a hard question to answer. With where I want to go and what we can practically do right now are two different things.
Yes.
But ultimately, I would like to either have some land with a large building that we start to grow out of, with a specific use building, because right now we currently do everything out of our house.
Yes.
And it's very small scale. We can max out about 100 pounds a week of finished product, and that's pushing our capabilities.
Wow.
So either that or a commercial property. commercial property, building size that we need, no less than $1 million. And, that's a big investment just for the real estate alone, let alone, maybe 500 grand to build it out to a more sustainable and streamlined operation. Right now we do a lot of manual labor because we don't have the space and the infrastructure to be able to automate a lot of the process and really get our costs down. Part of the reason why, gourmet mushrooms are so expensive, it's a lot of small scale operations because they don't really have the funding to be able to expand into a large scale type of business. And if you're doing all that manual labor, that adds to the cost. If you're have more energy consumption because your equipment's not the latest and the greatest, that adds to that. If I didn't have solar, our electric bill would be at least $1,000 a month. That's pretty substantial for most people. And even that we use not a lot of water, but there's water filtration that we got to keep maintained and stuff like that. Humidification system we got to keep maintained. So we're pretty small scale and not necessarily primitive. We use a lot of high tech equipment, but also very old tech equipment in a sense. Okay, I'll leave it at that. But we got to make do with what we got. We came into some decent autoclaves over the years, and that's, if we didn't have that, we would not be here today because we wouldn't have a more efficient way to sterilize our mushroom substrate. Okay. There's a lot of people that use steamer barrels, but you gotta run those things for 24, 36 hours straight. And if you're burning 3,000 watts for that long, that's a lot of power. Yeah. We still use a lot of power, but it's our costs are a little better than those types of operations.
What other operations like yours, again, right, you were mentioning all this that is small scale and the reasons as to why, for the most part, for the primary decomposers of mushrooms that you guys sell, what other operations are there in the area? Again, Marietta, Temecula, Lake Elsinore, Wildomar. Is there anything else comparable to what you guys are doing right now?
To the quality and the variety, I would say no. Gotcha. There has been some other mushroom farmers within the area, even in our own city, that have come and gone. And, they either, they get tired of it. We've been on the brink of wanting to kind of just, is it really worth it?
Yeah,
or,
too many times.
It's a lot of stress, a lot of making sure stuff is done at this time on this day. And if you don't do that, let's say you miss that deadline by a few hours, then you don't have mushrooms to sell that on that Saturday.
Wow.
Yeah. And they're ready Sunday. And you don't have a market that Sunday. And then what do you do with all these mushrooms that are going to be bad by next week?
Give them to Eddie, make a lot of chowder, and just bring them over. I'm all good with that.
So it's a lot of timing, a lot of coordination that has to happen on the dot. Otherwise, you'll have product go to waste, or just things just won't flow the way they need to. Right. And it's good. We have other markets. We do. Winnie does occasionally the Wednesday market at the Promenade Mall in Temecula. So, if we have stuff that's running late, that's a good outlet for that. Our new Sunday market in Orange Park, we're going to be starting for the first time tomorrow, or it's not tomorrow.
This coming Sunday?
Yeah, this coming Sunday. Yeah. I thought it was Saturday already.
Yeah, no, almost.
Yeah. So mostly coordination and then keeping things sterile because, mushrooms are a fungus. And there's other things that can compete. We talk about sterilizing all of our substrate. Yeah. Not only you got to sterilize it, you got to make it sterile, then you got to keep it sterile.
Wow.
So in the process of inoculating.
Inoculating is where you put the spawn or the seeds of the mushrooms, or we just call it spawn. Yeah. Put the spawn into the bag where the substrate is. And then once we close that up, we close it up in a flow hood because that's when it's most I guess sterile.
It's called a laminar flow hood. So basically it's a giant HEPA filter. It's blowing sterilized air at you. So it helps you prevent any contaminants from getting into the bags that we're producing. So that's some of the lab equipment that comes into it.
I'm sorry. It just dawned on me that you guys brought me a set to grow my own mushrooms. And we're going through the whole process. And I'm like, it obviously is like you have to know what you're doing. It's like it sounds like not, I wouldn't say complicated, but it sounds like you
got to follow the procedures.
correct,
Yes.
like to
Step
a
by
T,
step.
which
Correct.
is something that I don't do very well. But hey,
So luckily the kit that we brought, all the lab work has been completed. It's
Oh,
already
wow.
colonized. The chances of contamination are very
very
slim.
slim.
You have to like rub some mold on it to try to kill it.
yes, all right,
So,
all right. So
you
we're
know-
back on track. Okay.
Yeah.
I was worried there for a second. I'm
No.
like, man, like they're gonna ask me where are my mushrooms, and I'll be like, they died, or it just didn't work. Like they got contaminated.
You just have to spray it.
Spray.
Yeah,
okay.
that's
Just
all you
remember
do.
to spray it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's a good project for your son.
Yeah, we'll do it together
No,
with the kids.
it's definitely fun. It's like a good family thing. It's amazing. You wake up the next day, they're twice the size. Like, oh, how'd that happen and stuff like that.
No kidding. You know what? We actually, funny that you mentioned that with the size, because we actually just grew, we bought 10 caterpillars. And we literally earlier, we released the butterflies. We went through the whole process of, they went like from very small, like
Yeah.
literally tiny,
Yeah.
like the size of a nail. And then when they started eating, and every day they would keep getting bigger, like bigger and
It's
bigger
crazy,
and bigger.
yeah.
Yeah, it is crazy.
And then you wake up the next day and your entire bell pepper plant's gone. Trauma.
Oh my gosh. Oh wow.
No, so we just released them today after like, I think it was like a 2-week process,
Yeah.
but the kids like loved it. So having to do something like this, it's going to teach them so much. It's going to be super, super cool. So I'm kind of
that's so
excited
good.
now. They're not supposed to turn green, right? No, just in case.
It may turn pink or yellow.
Okay, good. Pink and yellow. All right. Not green, the other color.
Yeah.
All right.
Or brown.
Green's bad.
Green's bad.
Mushrooms.
Mold or
It's
something?
either mold or bioluminescence and it's toxic. You don't want to eat it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, or red. You
Yeah.
can't, you don't.
Don't go
No,
don't
I
go
don't.
near red.
I don't even.
No red, no green. No red, no green. Okay.
Yeah.
The browns and the beiges are typically okay, but don't go picking mushrooms.
Oh my gosh.
So is there such a thing? I mean, here, let's go on a tangent. Is there such a thing as like specific mushrooms you're not supposed to touch or eat because they're poisonous? Or
Oh,
they can be bad?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the majority of them.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
So most mushrooms out there in the wild, they'll at least make you sick.
Okay.
Yeah. Some of them they'll make you wish you want to die,
Really?
and some of them will actually kill you.
Kill you. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen some, all these reality shows with like, what is it called? Like the Discovery had the Naked and Afraid and like all these
Oh,
things.
yeah.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, mushrooms. And they're like, I'm going to eat this mushroom because
No.
it has these characteristics
Yeah.
and it's like, it's safe to eat. And then the next thing they're like literally dying on the floor and they don't make it or they're, through
Yes.
the show. Not that they die, but
Yeah. To feed on this tangent, there's stuff you read in a book and stuff you learn firsthand with a professional.
yeah.
We're mushroom farmers. We're not foragers. So like I can see a mushroom that I grow out in the wild and I'll still be skeptical about picking it.
Oh, yeah.
There is a few mushrooms that are without a doubt. There's not a lot of fakes out there. Like morels are pretty easy to identify. Chick in the woods is pretty easy to identify. There's not a lot of lookalikes. But with chick in the woods, you got to be careful. If it grows on the wrong tree, it can make you sick.
Oh my God. So there's also that part.
Yeah.
There's,
Yeah.
okay.
Just like humans, if you eat the wrong thing, it kind of passes it through your body and it'll make you sick. The mushroom will consume that and that will go through the mushroom and then into you.
Oh, gotcha.
And it's you don't want to be feeding. Let's say if you're a meat eater, you don't want to be feeding your livestock stuff that's gonna be, toxic to the animal. That's
Correct.
gonna make you sick. So
Yeah.
you got to have the right food. It's not necessarily the mushrooms will thrive, not thrive on it, but it has toxic properties that can be transferred through the mushroom.
That makes sense. Great analogy, by the way. Thanks for again. Let's bring it down, like to a 5-year-old. But no, that great explanation. That absolutely makes sense. So let me ask you this: have you guys ever considered, aside from like because all this is information, it's gold to somebody who doesn't know, and and I think part of the reason maybe that people don't use mushrooms as much is because they don't have the knowledge to know what to do with them, cook them, and stuff like that. So have you guys ever considered putting some type of workshop or learning experience for people to actually go on and be taught by you guys either how to cook it? Because you guys do all the cooking for your meals, right?
Yes.
So have you guys ever thought about that process?
We talked about it quite a few times.
Yeah.
It's just again like
Comes
we're
down to
talking about
space and location.
and time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, it would be pretty cool. Sometimes there's like community events that you guys can do, or
That is
just
so amazing.
it would be really cool because it's a it's a healthy way to learn how to cook a meal with produce that, you know, it's super
That's
healthy.
like the number one thing people say is, "Oh, I don't know how to cook these," and then they walk away.
That's
Yeah.
exactly why,
Yeah.
because it's not so what's the word, like popular
Well
or
known.
mainstream.
well known,
Yeah.
mainstream.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's the one. It's not so mainstream for people to actually, because I gotta say, I tried mushrooms for the first time when I was an adult. I never tried it as a kid. My parents never cooked with that. You know, that I can remember a meal with that. It was, you know, most of the like. Well, I'm Hispanic, so you know, rice, beans, a lot of tortillas, you know, with corn and stuff like that. So those are the main ingredients. But you talk about mushrooms, it's not something that would come top of mind with one of our meals.
No, not at all. Especially because I'm like a background with like Asian culture and stuff like that. The way how my grandma taught me how to cook it was boil it like in a stew or something
Okay.
like that. I always wasn't quite fond of it growing up because it was just like all mushy and like chili
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
So I was like, oh, like okay. But I've grown to liking that palette,
Yeah.
that dish or recipes that she would make. But it wasn't until I guess being college, like you have very little money or like no money at all
Yeah.
to like make your dishes. But there was shiitake mushrooms like at a co-op or a grocery, like a local grocery store nearby, and it was I don't know, it was like a handful, it was like $2, and I was like, okay, I'll make some that shiitake mushrooms and rice. And all I did was just a quick saute, like how I told you earlier, like
Yeah.
10-15 minutes, and that's all I needed. And then I was like, oh my god, like that's how I initially or just discovered like how to cook the mushrooms, was just like, I guess not just lack of time,
Yeah.
like not having enough time to cook dishes for yourself, that helped me to discover and how to really cook the mushrooms. And that's what we always say to all our customers is like, cook it simple, and that's where it shines. Like that's where it really, how do you say it?
Like let the mushroom speak for itself. Let
Exactly.
the mushroom be the centerpiece, and
Yeah.
so to speak.
But so again, the mushroom itself can be a centerpiece for a lot of meals, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Not known to a lot of, you know, like people, I
Yeah.
guess, right? But I think if you guys really focus on like putting something together, like a workshop that teaches people how to use the mushroom
Yeah,
and
that'd be-
how to cook it, you know, it would be a fantastic concept. I think people would really gravitate to that, especially
so-
around in
yeah.
this area, because I think here in the Valley, Marietta, Temecula, you know, specifically where you guys are selling, you know, a lot of your product, people like to eat healthy and they like healthy options, and it's just you know, having the knowledge, I think, to do it. Would absolutely open doors, not only for your business, but for the people to consume it and start having
Yeah.
more.
Absolutely.
You know,
Like people are scared, especially to go spend money on something, especially that's a premium product, and then mess it up and just throw it away.
yeah.
So you know, it's to have the guidance to cook it the way we do, and have the ideas and the recipes to make it the way that we love it. You know that would really help promote business, and also, you know, expand people's minds on mushrooms.
Education, I think, is one of the biggest things that people want nowadays. And I'll tell you this, like workshops are super popular. I'm not, you know, you guys do with your business whatever you guys want to, but I think it would be a fantastic door for you guys to open to people so that they can gravitate more toward the product that you guys are selling. Because again, it's a healthier option than most of the things that are out there right now.
Yeah.
And it won't become mainstream unless people actually educate others
Correct.
about it, which in this case, you guys would be the facilitators to open those doors. So I think it would be a fantastic concept for you guys to, you know, try out. And
Yeah.
I know I would pay money for something like that, because it's not only
Yeah.
that, is the experience. Like if you
It
guys
is.
It's an
walk me
activity as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If you guys walk me through a process of how to grow something that I can eventually eat at some point, and how to, you know, cook it as well, or, you know, just provide the information.
Yeah.
That's really, really cool. So
No, we've been told by that with a customer before. You should have a workspace or like some kind
Yeah.
of workshop where you can teach people how to cook. And I was like, yeah, we should do that. But it just kind of just like, it got lost.
It evaporates in thoughts. You know,
Yeah.
it's something like there is kitchens that we can rent and do stuff like that, but to be able to coordinate and facilitate that whole thing around a certain period of time is a little challenging.
of course.
And then, you know, we're so tight on time to begin with. You know, it's you know, we both do other things other than the mushroom business, so it's kind of we got to do what works and keeps things going now. Not necessarily what's hopeful for the future. And sometimes it's kind of sounds kind of bad, but sometimes you just gotta keep the engine turning.
Absolutely. I mean, it's what's practical right now, and it's what works.
Correct.
And time is, obviously, it's not the commodity that you guys maybe have so much of right now to do that. But it would be a fantastic idea. I think at some point when you guys maybe continue scaling it, I know I would love it.
No, it's a great idea. I'm glad that you brought that up because I actually have another thing that I'm working on, which is called WTF. Winnie. That's what we call it, at least. It's called Winnie the FunGal.
Oh.
And so I've been making videos on how to cook mushrooms and just, I guess, teaching people on how to cook the actual mushrooms in recipes or like just normal dishes that they would eat on a day-to-day basis, but it's just gourmet. It's like gourmet dishes cooked at home.
Oh, cool.
So I might be able to apply that and just make not necessarily a commodity of it, but just help spread that information.
Yeah, no, and that would be a fantastic
And you know what the real benefit is?
What?
I eat good.
That is good for you only.
Yeah. For him only. Oh my gosh. So I have like all these like extra, like, I guess, components of the dish. And then I would let him eat it because he's the person who's a guinea pig. He's going to try and eat it. And he's always like, oh, that's too heavy. Oh, that was good. He would just like, give me
feedback, which is cool because you guys know the product, how it's supposed to taste, and you know how it goes. So it's great that that you have the palate for it to be able to kind of like know, if it's too much, too little, or whatever, right?
Exactly. I could be heavy-handed in salt sometimes, but I like salt.
My wife is super, honey, you're super heavy on salt. Sorry, it's the truth. I tell her all the time, but I'm not. I don't like sodium too much.
I'm like, whoops! It's just like it's like
it's not as it's like.
Yeah.
Oops. Yeah. It's I'm working on it. But yeah, it's nice to get feedback from him and also just experiment new recipes that I haven't personally done it before. So I've been exploring new palettes in my own, like, just new recipes and just new, I guess, cultural dishes, so to speak, that I haven't really would personally like go after if I did that myself.
Yeah. It's super exciting to talk about this because, again, this is something new and I've never, ever in my life talked to people that actually, like mushroom farmers, right? But off air, you kind of told me something about, can we talk about the goals that you kind of had? Is that okay to talk about?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So Brandyn was mentioning about his goals for what the business might entail down the road. But we've been also just, I guess, dreaming about other goals that I wanted to, I guess, have go to in this like other parts of the avenues and other avenues. So one of that is being starting a cafe or just first initially like as pop-up and then like a cafe and then just branch off into a restaurant.
Yeah.
But there was also another situation or like where we was like saying we should do a winery. It was just like, whoa, we're dreaming big here.
Hey, that's how things start, right? Through dreams.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know.
I forget who said that, but it just popped out somewhere.
Yes, we're living in like wine country. Why not? It's just like, yeah. So we got a new account with a winery, but this idea happened before having that account. But just I don't know. Just wanted like I've been a student throughout my whole life. So like I've always studied in cafes and just having that ambiance and just that atmosphere of just really chill vibes and serve mushroom dishes. That would be great. And evolve it into like a restaurant or maybe a winery or one day, who knows?
and that would be another avenue to teach people, especially if you've cooked it yourself after it's been, approved and tested by Brandyn. It would be a great way for you to put it out there and, again, create awareness of what type of dishes really can be made with the product itself and, that they taste good, right? Because I think more important than anything is people want it to taste good and knowing it's healthy. It's like, you check all the boxes down, for people. So that's really, really interesting.
That's like one of the reasons why we became farmers or just like really because there weren't that many, I guess, selection or options for us to eat out, but also just not many mushrooms in general around the area. So it's like a food desert.
Yeah.
So we wanted to provide that product for other people or like in our community, and just specifically people with restrictions or dietary restrictions or strict lifestyles like ours. We wanted to like share that with others, and hopefully that like, it's like we hope that they're able to like, not only appreciate the product, but just like have a healthier lifestyle is what we essentially want to do in the end for them. Yeah.
No, and providing the options I think is essential, because having such a strict diet, right? I hope I'm not offended. I hope.
Oh no!
It's
like
just,
honestly, the V word is like almost the F word. It's like you can't say that around here.
The other V word is probably less offensive than vegan.
Yeah, I think so.
which other V word? Huh? Okay.
Yeah.
Good one. Yes, I get it. I go with it. Yes. Wow, I'm in La La Land today. I'm like the shrooms. I've completely missed that part, and now this one. Okay.
Yeah.
Can I just ask real quick? Having two businesses, you doing the contracting with the plumbing and all that good stuff, and then are you mostly taking care of the mushroom, of like growing it itself, or how do you guys kind of like divvy up the responsibilities?
Well, it initially started like as like just two of us doing it together, but because he just has like just so many things that he's doing for his own business,
Yes.
it kind of just gradually the tasks were put upon me. I initially was working
Delegation, that's what it's called, right? Very good.
Yeah. So like when he initially said that like starting a business, this is gonna be your thing. Like from the beginning, he said that. I'm like, no. Like
I said, I'm starting this for
about?
you, so you have something for yourself
Like,
to grow and
Yeah.
experience yourself.
I was like, what are you talking
Very,
about?
very professionally put. I like that. I would have bought into that. I'm like, okay.
I
But
was like,
she was questioning it. You want me to do what?
what? What are you talking about? I swear. But yeah, initially he said that initially, and I was just really like confused by that statement, and so I was still working like I guess not a 9-to-5 job, but just like a different I guess role. So I was still working full time with another company, and then maybe like I don't know how many years in, like a year in.
No, you were working. You weren't working. That was after you moved to the Bay Area is when we started the business. But then you got the job.
And then the pandemic happened, and that's when we started.
She was really hesitant at first about doing the business. She's like, okay, we're gonna do this, but I'm gonna get a job too. And
But I don't want to like, and you were like telling, why don't you just collect unemployment? I'm like, no, I don't want to be like those people.
no, it's not like that. So
Not that is a bad thing. I'm
No,
just saying.
I get it. I
a
get
little
it.
bit of back history
Yeah.
on me and my dad. Back in 2008, when the market just crashed,
Yeah.
Me and him both lost our jobs, and then we're sitting there on unemployment. Well, okay, let's start a business. It's perfectly legal to be unemployment and own a business. You just can't collect payroll. So we use that time to grow the business into something sustainable and still have a source of feeding ourselves and putting a roof over our heads.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that I like told Winnie to try to do and help jumpstart the business. And then she was like too prideful, and she's like, I want to work.
I want to use my degree.
Yeah.
But also it's just it worked really well with my job.
Yeah.
I'm still working for that company. It's worked really hand in
No
hand
way,
for
really?
this business now because
wow.
of the marketing side of it.
They provide a lot of like support when it comes to business. They even like send her to like a
workshop.
Like a
Seminars,
workshop.
workshops.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
a self-improvement workshop.
Yeah, it was supposed to be on site, but it was during the pandemic, so it was all virtual. But
Yeah.
it like helps like guide you if you're like trying to like grow a business or whichever direction you're trying to improve your life. It
Yeah.
helps you, give you the tools to accomplish that, and that's really like helped to like change mindset and like guide and stuff like
And
that.
one of the things that I've learned from that workshop, like one thing that stood out was one thing that stood out the most. It said mindset is skill set.
Oh, I like that. Yeah. That's really important too. So what's your degree, if I may ask?
No, yeah, of course.
She wants you to specifically ask.
Bachelor of Science, Environmental Science, and Management.
Oh, cool. Well, I mean, it kind of goes.
It does.
That was my argument.
Yeah,
that was my argument.
Whoa.
She's like, no.
No, I worked in energy. That I kind of just briefly went over biology.
No, super interesting.
But
Okay.
No,
No,
it does
yeah,
go hand
it
in
does go
hand.
hand in hand.
It helps kind of like get the thought of the way things need to be done, kind of
Yeah.
build that structure.
Right. And there's not a lot of people that actually use their degrees.
Very true.
Right. So it's super cool that you can apply to the business that you guys are both now trying to, obviously scale, right?
It really did.
So then you guys are working basically like 24/8, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
sounds about right. Yeah,
Yeah.
24 hours, 8 days a week.
Absolutely.
Yeah, of course, different type of year for you guys, for sure.
Oh, are we Jupiter?
It's so crazy. So, I mean, it's, again, the effort that you guys are running. So you guys are technically running you have your own job, right? Separately from this, you have your own business separately with this. And then you guys are both putting in time and effort, of course, into the mushroom business. So you guys are running around all the time, trying to complete tasks. How do you guys manage?
We
don't.
just do it.
Wait, that's funny because you said we just do it. I said we don't.
We don't, right. Well, so obviously
Yeah.
something's
I
working.
do it. What are you doing over there?
So,
do it.
how do you guys, what type of marketing are you guys using to kind of like promote the business, so that people, again, right, bringing that awareness to people?
So one of the strategies that I've learned was social media platforms.
Yeah.
A lot of people are probably like 90% of their time on their phones.
I know I am.
So
Unfortunately,
You,
yeah.
you might as well take advantage of that.
might as
good
well
point.
take advantage of that. And so we've utilized that to help spread the word, or just spread the word on mushrooms in the area.
Yeah.
There's a 30-mile radius, and there's that option that I put on there. So that's one tool.
Yes.
Another tool is we've been working for like 3 years for the business, and so just word of mouth.
Yes.
Is
Word
a
of
really
mouth.
good one.
Like I tell all my plumbing customers, oh, hey, I'm also a mushroom farmer. They're like, mushroom farmer? Psychedelics? Like, no, gourmet.
Gourmet. What's
Do you
that?
get that? You guys have to get that all the time,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
It's
like
something to be expected if you're
Yeah.
growing mushrooms, which I find funny. He's like, oh, I'm a farmer. You grow marijuana? No, I grow tomatoes. Like, there's a line that gets crossed when it comes to mushroom farming. It's kind of strange, but it's there's no way around it.
yeah.
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 Especially there's so much articles and news media about psychoactive mushrooms these days.
Yes.
And it's not a bad thing. It actually promotes our business because people they come in, they talk to us, and they're like joking around about that. But then we give them our spiel, and they pretty much they'll become maybe a customer one time, or maybe even customer for life. And that helps. And then other like ways that we're not actually actively or passively doing, there's like some documentaries that are out there about fungus, and those get aired on Netflix, and then we get hordes of people coming in asking about mushrooms, like, oh, I saw this on TV or on this show, and it piques people's interest, and that's a lot of good free advertising that we've received, besides social media and the ads that we do on there. But marketing's tricky. It's
It is. Yeah.
you can spend a lot of money and not get any results, and I've been there with my plumbing business, and it's luckily what Winnie's doing on like the social media platforms. It's bringing in people. It's not necessarily a lot, but hopefully we get like 1 or 2 good customers every now and then, and they're coming here every week buying mushrooms, and that pays for that, and then they tell their friends, and then they bring their friends in there, and pretty much hopefully gain more customers.
Right, right. Which is, definitely. Marketing is one of the trickiest things, and you can dump a lot of money into it. I actually had one of our guests here was a graphic designer who also specializes in marketing, and she kind of like knows the whole market and how it goes. And yeah, she was saying you could spend 3 to 4 months of like dumping money into marketing and not see a return, but after that 4 months usually is when you start kind of seeing that ROI come back, right? So it's about the putting in the time, putting in the money, but it can be tricky too because
can be.
it's a mental game, you know.
Like,
like,
I have some colleagues in the plumbing industry that, they'll spend $40,000 a month in advertising.
yeah.
And, they said, sometimes it doesn't pay off and, that money's gone. That's just the name of the game. But,
Yeah.
You have to be on your A game all the time, with especially contracting, you got to be marketing, but you also have to, when you get those calls, you have to be able to sell them and make that customer happy, make them a repeat customer in order to keep that cycle going to where it's going to pay for itself. And with mushroom farming, it's a little different because it's a lot smaller sales. Luckily marketing is a little cheaper for that type of business, but it's still a little tricky.
Yeah. Again, it's going back to the whole awareness thing, especially with people not necessarily knowing what to do with the product itself if they don't have the the knowledge how to use it, and then you're marketing something, and then there's that learning or education curve that you have to go with through first, and before they can actually start consuming the product.
Exactly.
Yes, which is that definitely is tricky.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, but I was gonna ask you guys, can we open one of these, or can we take a peek at them?
Yeah, we could
that'd be
do
excited.
that.
Yeah.
Which one?
Whichever you want.
Let's do this one first.
Yeah, sure.
It's candy.
I like this. Thank you. Oh, look at that. Like Elsinore mushrooms. This is pretty cool. All right. I'm out. Just open it like a.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. Cool. Ooh, how cool. Is this something you guys put together yourselves, or really?
This is
Get
pretty
out.
much all her design and
Wow. Oh, look, it's you guys. How cool. That's so okay, let's see. So mystery mushroom grow kit and instructions, elsinoremushrooms.com. I love that. Okay. So you have all the tips of growing a successful first flush, right? Mm-hmm. And what is in this kit overall? Can we go through?
Yeah. So there's instructions, a spray bottle, paper bag where you can store your mushrooms after you harvest them.
If not, I'll just have to take a closer look with the camera after we do the podcast. But this is pretty cool.
Yeah. There's a diagram there. Helps.
Yes.
Helps.
Great. 5-year-olds like myself
No, I
kind
love
of put it together.
diagrams. Like I said,
it helps because sometimes what someone that's in the industry explains, it may be too technical for someone that knows nothing about
Absolutely.
growing mushrooms. Like, fruit the bag. Okay, what does that mean?
Yes.
inoculate what?
Yeah, no, I know. So I can see it right here. It has all the nice diagrams.
And,
there.
that was part of our learning curve when we first started doing these kits. Like people were coming back to us like, I was a little confused, and how do we do this? So we had to revise things and kind of not dumb it down in a sense, but it's
preach it how it is, my friend.
terms.
'Cause thank you. That's what I call it. Like, please dumb it down. Like I straight out say like, please dumb it down for me, because otherwise I won't be able to do it.
Yeah.
But have you guys actually thought about putting a video together or something like that so that people can do it?
Since the
many
beginning.
times. Since the first week. Just kidding.
Really?
Yeah.
It's just I've made many videos.
Yes.
Except for that video.
Yeah.
Yeah, one day we
A
will.
lot of it came down to space and then doing renovations at our house in order to make a area that is that'll work well for a video and a backdrop and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that it's all a working process and time.
No, again, time of that's the hard part. But this is so cool, and I thank you guys so much for for this one.
That's one of the foil grow.
Well, so not only are you guys the first couple to be here, okay, and you guys are the first people to bring me goodies too. So this is you guys are really nobody's gonna beat you guys now.
Oh wow.
2 presents. Whoever is how cool is this? Oh, no way. Whoa. Okay. So this is wow. I don't know if you can see it on camera. I'll have to bring it closer, but that is so cool. So are these the same ones that are here?
No.
Okay.
Just maybe one.
Okay.
Which is the pink oyster.
Oh,
Yeah.
look at this. Can
Yeah,
Yeah, you
yours.
can touch it.
Yeah.
That's yours.
no. Okay.
They won't bite. I promise.
No. I don't know if I'm not supposed to touch because you guys not to wash it or stuff like that.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Touch it,
Unless you
okay.
wash your hands already. I don't know where your hand's been, but
You know. Actually,
Not to put you under the
that
bus.
is a particular. You know, just I'm
making
gonna
them
show
think
them
here.
like this. Yeah, like now I'm like you're making me doubt myself. I don't know. I've been dealing with kids
I-
all week, and you know, they have boogers and
I
all
should
kinds
have
of
brought
stuff.
you gloves, but it's okay.
This is so cool. I actually have to take a little B-roll of this to show it
Yeah,
during
for
the
sure.
but
Yeah, it's called pink oyster. It's the pink.
they smell good.
Yeah,
though.
there's a lot of
That's
fragrance.
Crazy.
Yeah, the second one's chestnut mushrooms, like nutty earthy, and the other one's black pearl king oyster.
Wow. Okay. So obviously this is the pink oyster, and then
Correct.
this one is the
The chestnut,
chestnut and
black pearl king oyster.
black pearl king oyster. I love the names, by the way. Like obviously you guys are not didn't give the names to
No,
these,
I-
right? These are already, but somebody obviously did really
Really
good
thought
with
about
these.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it's like so cool. Oh my god! But I hope people have smell-o-vision at home because this smells so good. Wow. And just for the record, these are not psychedelic again, right?
They are not.
Okay, great. Awesome.
They're
Good.
gourmet
Just-
culinary mushrooms.
these are but they're so colorful too. Like I've never seen mushrooms this way.
One of the things that a lot of customers would say, or just like people just passing by, is like they're just too pretty to eat, and they just leave.
No way.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And then I just tell them, you buy them, you look at them, and then you eat them.
Yeah.
You get you get a couple benefits out of just one purchase.
So do they taste as good as they look?
They taste better.
Wow.
Than they look.
Wow. That's awesome, guys. Like this is so cool. So real quick, how long did these like kind of take to grow and before you guys harvested?
So the pink oysters, from like when the time we fruit the bags and actually put them in the chamber, probably about 5 days for us.
Okay.
Chestnuts, they're probably about 2 weeks.
Okay.
Maybe 10 days, and then the black pearl kings are probably about the same.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is so cool. Honestly, guys, thank you so much.
Yeah,
like
of
it's
course. I'm glad.
amazing. I'm so
Hope you
like,
like it.
no, what's the shelf life on these?
1 week.
Yeah, the pink oysters, probably less than a week.
Okay.
The black pearls and the chestnuts, you can go a
2
little
weeks.
longer, but you're really pushing it.
I'm just asking because today's Wednesday. My wife comes back
I
on
think-
Saturday.
Yeah, you can.
Well,
You
I
can
think
leave
it'll
it
be
till
fine.
then.
It'll
Yeah,
be fine. Okay.
Or what you could do is you can eat them for yourselves and then come by on Saturday and grab a box.
Oh, even
No,
better.
we're
I love that. See
Oh, we're
that?
not going to be there this Saturday.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's a car show going on.
oh, dang.
You have to
Yeah.
go to Orange County.
Oh my God, on Sunday.
Hey, there's a big orange balloon and you can ride with your kids.
Oh my gosh.
I love this guy's a great salesperson. Yeah, you guys. Wow, I'm gonna put this one right here. Wow, this is so cool, guys. Okay, so
Absolutely.
the grow kit is here, which looks fantastic. I can't wait to like show it to the kids so that we can do it. And they're gonna get a kick just looking at these
Yeah.
right here. So it's so
Excited.
cool. Yeah, it's super exciting.
That's also one of the things that we like. We just continue doing what we do.
It's just seeing the people's excitement and
reactions.
reactions.
yeah, no.
Yeah.
Do you guys get this reaction all the
Yeah.
time?
All the time.
All
yeah.
the time.
It what makes us feel good and wanting to continue
It
doing the
fuels.
business.
It fuels us. To be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a sense of fulfillment.
Yeah.
It really is. It really is.
Yeah, if it wasn't for our customers being happy that we're there and satisfied and always thanking us, we probably would have shut things down a long time ago. They're the ones that we do it for, and we're obviously we can grow mushrooms for ourselves, but to do it in a business, it's difficult. So having that fulfillment of their happiness and satisfaction of our products, that really drives us.
Wow, guys, I don't know what else to tell you, but thank you so much for being here, for sharing all this knowledge, answering all my questions, my 5-year-old questions. But honestly, it's so cool that the whole process that you guys have explained how from just it feels like a science to me.
It
is
is.
a science.
Yeah, right, and
It's
it truly is, right?
Also, nature's art. Or I've been told this today. It's God's art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
it's
it really,
nature's
it
art,
truly
God's
is.
art. Yeah.
But I just honestly, I don't know just thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here, for gifting these to my family. We'll definitely make use of these, and hopefully I'll have to show you how the results of the mushrooms. Hopefully they look as good as these.
No, thank
Expectations versus reality. We'll have to see, but yeah, no, I will definitely. Do you guys have a website? How can people get in contact with you? Can you guys give me your handles for Instagram, and I'll make sure that I post them on the video.
At Elsinore Mushrooms, one word, no space, and
Plural.
yeah, plural.
That's a common mistake. So at
Elsinore.
Elsinore, like the city, mushrooms.
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 Okay.
And ElsinoreMushrooms.com.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, I'll make sure that I put that information out there for people to get in contact with you, and hopefully we get to promote this for as many more people, just to get excited about the whole thing that has to do with mushrooms and how they're edible, not the psychedelic ones, but this ones. And yeah, was there anything else you guys wanted to share, or before we kind of wrap it up, or anything else you guys that we didn't kind of cover?
Well, we went over the process, but I feel like we didn't really complete that. But
I almost feel like you guys are gonna have to come back a second time, because
we
this
might.
this is like such a second side. Like there's such a big
it goes
big thing.
it's so many ways and so much in depth in each way.
Yeah.
It's hard to cover all bases unless you're specifically having a session just for a specific topic.
Yeah.
It's I'm like Winnie says, I'm the master at going off on tangents.
No, but I genuinely think it's, again, this is a conversation, and I know that I had a bunch of questions that probably threw us in a bunch of tangents too. But I really appreciate you guys educating me about this, because I think it's going to be one of the things that now I know and I can share with my kids, and maybe. Again, my sister would love this kind of stuff. I'll have to share with her and her kids as well. And it's such a cool project, to be honest with you, and just to learn about it. But it's just the education piece that goes into it, right? And education is just such a powerful tool. But information's out there. We just need to go out there and get it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But
having that said, thank you for having
thank
us.
you. No, greatly appreciate
and
it.
having us, to spread the knowledge.
Yeah.
No, that's already taken. It's it has to be something else. Spread the information on the knowledge of mushrooms and fungus.
Yeah. I never knew.
FunGuy and the FunGal.
The FunGuy and the FunGal. Yeah, you guys should trademark that, because it's such a cool
No,
story.
it's really good. I'm sure
it's out there.
already.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah,
but not WTF.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Winnie the FunGal.
We need to come up with one for you too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, something.
BTF.
BTF.
Brandyn the Fun Guy.
There you go. Simple. I like it. It's stuck.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys again so
thank
much
you.
for being here.
All right.